Coming at you live from a couple of stools in the low class studios. Welcome to A Feminist and a Comedian Walk into a Bar. I am Justin Golek. I am a comedian. What am I sipping on? Nothing, because I forgot to grab it. Can you grab it for me? Out of the little fridge
Yeah, what
behind
do you
you.
want?
Stay in the high life light again. Sipping on a champagne of beers on a beautiful day. Back
There you go.
in the high life light again. Crack open a cold one.
Pretty good.
Yeah, High Life Light, baby. I mean, I'll drink a High Life. I like a good Miller High Life. It's probably one of my favorite beers. But if I'm picking up a 30 rack, just to have in the mini fridge at the house, just to have something chilling, and they have a High Life Light, I'll get the High Life Light. It's just as flavorful and tasty as a High Life, but it's even a little more watered down and drinkable. You know how I like my beers? I like a LaCroix with a little booze in it. I like a beer flavored LaCroix, especially in the summertime, I'm just not one of those guys trying to drink a loaf of bread, trying to get like whiskey fucked up off a pint. I want to pound down 14, 15 just to catch a mild buzz. I'm in it for the liquid. I'm in it for the hang. I'm in it for the action of the sip.
Yeah.
Like, that's why when I used to smoke, I just like that you do something. You're doing a thing. I was smoking ultralights for most of the final end of my smoking career. If they made like a cigarette that was like, and I'm not even talking about I'm not vaping. That shit's gross. I've tried it. It hurts my throat. I know they sell vape with no nicotine. I'm talking like if they had like a rolled tobacco thing that was just, I don't know. It was just like a 1/100th of the in tobacco and whatever of a normal cigarette, but it was the same size and smoked like one. I would smoke it because I'd be like, oh sweet, I could smoke 10 of these on a Saturday at the park, and that's like smoking one cig.
I only recently found out that they do have vape without nicotine.
Yeah.
And it makes me want one.
No, you should, because like
I feel like though it'll be like if I drink NA beer, non-alcoholic beer, and I'm like absolutely not, because it'll make me want a beer.
Yeah.
I'll be like, why am I drinking this?
Yeah.
So maybe it'd be the same with
because
nicotine
you're already
vape.
at the point. I mean, like, I know you've had some slips on the tobacco front, but you're pretty clean.
Yeah.
I think it's good for people because a lot of people, what they do is you get the full strength vape, and then you back it down until you have nothing, then you vape nothing for a while, and then eventually probably you just off it.
Yeah.
Or if you're vaping it, at least you're vaping nothing. But you're already off it. So you'd almost be going back a step.
Yeah.
Even though it's a small step, you're still going back. So it's like, I'd just try to keep it. So anyways, that cigarette analogy was to say, like, when people are like, oh, he's out and humid. I want some water. I don't need to be like spring break fucked up, at 33.
That's great.
34.
Good for you.
I just want to feel better than sober.
And that gets you there.
Yeah. I just want to feel, my sober brain is just a nightmare. And I'm not a SoundCloud rapper, so I don't want to start taking Xanax. I want 5 to 7, barely alcoholic beers, ice cold, lots of fizz, in a can that reminds me of the cool, like, the old school coolness of a dad.
That is a great can design. It's so simple.
Yeah.
Very clean, almost elegant.
My dream
The
is
champagne of beers.
like, my spirit animal is a less transphobic version of dads from our generation. That's what I want.
Is your spirit animal?
Yeah, I want
How
like
so?
I want like the just just the summertime charisma of just a dad, but more progressive on social issues. But the same, like, Miller High Life drinking, throwing a Nerf football, telling you to walk it off, energy of a dad,
of a summer
but doesn't
dad.
word faggot.
Right.
That's my energy.
Yeah.
Progressive dad.
Progressive summertime.
But I feel
dad.
like we're really.
I think summer's key there.
I feel like we're really a real baby bathwater society. So we just
throw
like
all the dads out.
Throw them, fuck them all,
dads,
throw them all out now.
dads.
Because like whenever I see like new dad, like cool, like nothing makes me want to vomit more than a cool dad. just like a guy in
Why?
like a sleeve tattoo
Mhm.
and like an interesting haircut, just like pushing a stroller. Like I'm a cool dad. Just be a dad. Just be a dad.
But don't you think they're just like redefining what dad is?
Yes, and that's stupid. You should just be a better person on the issues than your father because he's an
Mm.
old man and the time for his ideals has come and gone. But the kind of not caring totally what you look like, but still kind of, but in a way that's like dorky but like comfortable. It's really about comfort
Mhm.
and about telling you to walk it off, about being like hard and soft. Like he's gonna get you a band-aid, but he's gonna tell you to get back in there. You know?
Yeah.
He's not gonna tell you suck at baseball, but you're gonna know you do when he's giving you this many lessons about how to throw. But he's still patient with you. But he also is cool with trans people. That's the new dad. You know, it's the same stuff, but just better. It's not just a whole new thing.
Mm.
We don't need new Coke. We just need Coke in a biodegradable bottle. You know what I mean? Does that
Mhm.
make sense? Does all this make sense?
Yeah, totally. We
Okay.
need the same Coke made with better machinery that doesn't release
Yeah, we
gas.
need the same. We need dads.
More sustainably
If
made.
anything, the election of Trump has said is that there's not enough dads, because then there's enough just soft-willed, mushy-headed, weak people out there that just elected a dad to just protect them from the Mexicans under their bed. When it's like that's because we don't have enough people out there. Just even me, I don't even have kids. I just try to be a father to the world. I just try to put not in a way, and I don't mean that like a say. I'm not, and I don't mean that like a savior. That's like a Trump. Like I'm the dad. I'm saying I'm one of billions of dads, just exuding that energy to the. But also, hey, calm down. I feel like I'm exuding a lot of hey, calm down energy to the world I inhabit.
Mm.
But like I still love you, but calm the fuck down. That's my idling attitude, I think. Would you say that about me?
Yeah, I was gonna say I that is very a refreshing thing about you is that you don't you're very honest what's happening. You don't feel like you do it in a way because you know there are some guys who just fucking act like that because that's the only way they know how to have a personality
Yeah.
is to like, well, I'm just being honest, just being a tough guy, or like I'm just speaking the truth using my logic and smarts and fuck your emotions. You know, like I think you have a good balance of both. Yeah, dad energy.
Cuz that's what I just don't want to elect more dads. And I think we've got a dad in office now. In the
But we
worst
need
way.
more dads
Like in the
in the
worst way.
Gen Pop.
Yeah, it's like I'll be your dad, go vote for Bernie Sanders now. I'll tell you your hard truths, but also give you a little kiss on the top of your head. You know? I'll say, "Hey, slow down." I'll dress dorky but cool. You know, like I'll be and like again, like I'm not saying I'm going to save you either. We need all the men above the age of 32, whether you have a kid or not, to start exuding this energy into the populace, so that we all feel a little safer,
Do you feel like
and then we can have
women can exude dad energy?
no,
Okay.
but we can finally have a female president if we have enough dads out there exuding energy. But we're too scared. We're like, we need a big, strong dad. But
Hmm.
it's like we don't. We anyone, and I'm saying I'm not one of those people
You
saying
know, I
like
don't even think that's
only.
a dad thing. I think
Yeah,
that that's a God thing. I think it's that we need a God to protect us.
no, we have a God. Marvel movies. That's our new God. Marvel movies is the new religion, and
Mm.
I think guys not trying to be too cool after the age of 36 is the new dad. But you can be a little cooler. Some dads, do you remember like there were my dad was a fucking dork. But he was a good dad, but he did dress like a dork. But I remember there were like cool dads, you know?
No, I don't remember
Like they
cool
dress
dads.
cool, but they still dress like dorky because they're dads,
Mm-hmm.
but you liked it. I mean, that's why like there's so like stuff like now, right? Like what now? Dad shoes, dad hats. Cuz that's us looking back and being like we were 12. So there's no way we were going to like what a 42-year-old man was wearing.
Yeah.
That wasn't our job. But now looking back on it, we're like a couple of those things were kind of cool. Not
Dad
all of
had
it,
some
but
style.
so those chunky shoes with the weird colors, that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
We didn't want it because they were our dads, and we shouldn't have. We should rebel.
Right.
That's why when I'm exuding dad energy, I expect a little respect, but I also expect a little resistance.
And you respect
I
some
respect the resistance.
Yeah.
And that's what, but now that we're older, looking back at the fashion of our dads from the
Mhm.
90s, that's why dad shoes, dad hats. I've seen dad as an adjective on a lot of fashion accessory, mostly shoes and hats, but other things too. And I'm like, because we look back and we're like, those dads weren't off. They just weren't what we were doing, which is good. We should resist it. But now we can look back and be like, but they weren't. We don't look back and go like, remember when our dads were fucking sagging their pants, and wearing upside down visors and going to raves. And that's what I feel like dads are doing now. When I see like a cool dad, he's dressed like a 19-year-old at like a rock club.
I see.
And I'm like, you don't have to be a full dork, but that you can't be you anymore. But you should dress in a way that's like kids in 2040 will look back and be like, we should pull out some of those things.
Yeah.
Those dads from the 2019s were right. We didn't like it that's what we should be doing. Does all that make sense?
Yeah, love
I
it.
feel like it was rambly, but it was good. Anyways, I'm sipping on a Miller High Life Light. With me, as always, seeming a little tired of my nonsense, but still being respectful.
No.
I think we're at the beach.
Sat down, I was like, oh,
I can nap
I'm
here.
tired. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's Jackie Manti. She's a feminist. She's my co-host.
I'll stay awake for you guys.
What are you sipping on?
I'm polishing off
Polishing off.
the lavender lemonade we made for 4th of July.
Pretty liberal use of the word we.
You made I made a pie, but I wasn't going to mention it, so I felt like we then respected the fact
Jackie
that I
did make a
contribute.
berry pie all by herself. That was fucking
But don't
I did it and I'd do it again. But this lemonade I made from scratch. I made a lavender simple syrup, squeezed fresh lemons, mixed them together, a little water to dilute. And
during the week, so I haven't been able to enjoy it until today, really, and now I'm like pounding it down.
Going to
So
Pound
good.
Town on that lemonade.
Yeah, it was a cool, like, because we went and hung out with some friends. It was like a cool thing to bring because you could drink it
lemonade and one bottle full of lemonade with a little vodka in it. Especially because we were at a park. Now, the park had a pretty liberal alcohol policy from what I could tell, but you never know what the fuzz is going to be like at like a public park. So I wanted to, because I was like, this would be a good way. I'll just bring 2 jugs of lemonade. One will have booze in it, and we can just drink them out of solo cups, and no one's going to be hassling us. But then the friends we were with just brought beer and White Claw, and we were pounding those with no interference from any fuzz.
And then you
which I
poured
respected.
some White Claw into it.
I did not. One of our friends did.
Yeah, he said it was good.
Because we ran out of boozy lemonade. So I was like, we have a little non-boozy lemonade. You could pour a little White Claw in it. And he did. And worked out. Because I think he used the lime one. So it probably mixed well flavor profile-wise. But yeah, man. Pie. Teenage pussy type pie.
Justin.
Oh, I had to do it one more time. Dad energy. So that's dad energy.
Michael Scott energy is what you're giving me.
He had dad energy.
He did have dad energy.
There, see, nailed it. All right, let's get into this. Let's make an announcement. Let's do this first and foremost. Guys, penultimate FemComPod podcast. That's what you're listening to right now. Forever, I don't know. Let's use the terminology that is always popular during these times. FemComPod is going on an indefinite break. 86, and then we're going to take an indefinite break. Now, why? Is it because we're getting divorced? Yes.
No.
No, we will never get divorced. 90% because we are in love. We are soulmates. We have a connection deeper than most. That's 90% of it. 10% of it.
We petty as fuck.
Petty as the people think we're going to fail, and we have a list of those people. We keep it in a lockbox under our bed, and we will stay together through anything until all those people are dead. As soon as they die, we cross them off the list. When the list is finished, we can choose to go our separate ways. I'm not even saying we will, because remember, 90% of our relationship is based in love. But when those people die, it's going to be a lot easier to split.
It'll be on the table.
But until then, this marriage is strong in defiance of all the hate, mostly. So, no, we're not getting divorced. Honestly, like I said, it's just like anything. This is a project. We've put out 86 episodes, or we will have at the end of this run. And I think Jackie has a new podcast, Zero Proof, that she wants to put more time into. I've been putting a lot more time into both my solo podcast podcast, jgsspod.com, Justin Golak Safe Space. And I got the new monthly Gear Talk series on Instagram. If you're not checking that out, check
Yeah,
that
and
out. Did you want to say? Go ahead.
yeah, I was just gonna say I'm working on some books for
Yeah.
the end of the year and the beginning of next year. So
We're just doing
still
stuff,
busy.
but we're still happy. We're still married, and we still really like doing the pod. And so the big thing is like, so we won't be. And like I said, indefinite hiatus. I feel like we do current event style podcasting on this stream. So like, I feel like maybe if there's big news or maybe like pod, and where we'll do 3 topics from the last 3 months. And I don't know, no promises, but this feed will stay live for the foreseeable future. Go back, listen to the past episodes, the regular scheduled programs. They're going to be off indefinitely. But Jackie's doing plenty of solo stuff. I'm doing plenty of solo stuff. Gear Talk on IGTV, Instagram, at Justin Golak. That's kind of like my big new thing that I really love. So check that out. jgsspod.com. That's Justin Golak Safe Space. That's my solo pod. So those are 2 big things I'm interested, like Jackie said. Zero Proof. I think it's what is it? Zero Proof Book Club Pod or Zero Proof Pod?
No.
What? It's also
And follow us on Instagram at Zero Proof Book Club.
okay. That's the easiest way. But they have a pod. Like I said, look out for Jackie's books at the end of the year. Follow her on all the social media. I'm sure she'll be doing more art stuff
at
and
Jackie
all
Mancy
that.
on Instagram. Mhm.
And then like the big thing, if you like our dynamic, I think the other thing is we like this format. We like talking about current events. We like this. But we've been doing stuff over on the Patreon, basically me and Jackie together doing FemComPod bonus episodes. And with those bonus episodes, we do like different stuff every episode. We've been doing this thing called a song swap. I believe I put the first one we ever did on this feed like for free to give people like a preview. But if not, it's like a pod where we just kind of like play songs that we like for the other person and then chat about it.
And I feel like a lot of current events come up through that.
Yeah, and we've
Like
done ones where we
topic.
review movies. We've done ones where we played like a version of the Newlywed Game. And like, so I just feel like we have a lot of fun doing those episodes, so we're going to keep doing those. So FemComPod.com, this version of the podcast, indefinite hiatus, but it's going to stay up. Go listen to old episodes, especially if you came to this podcast late. Go check out the back catalog. I mean, it's current events, but we tried to always keep the topics like stuff that we could talk about the broad range around the topic. So I think they have some evergreen, especially certain episodes I think definitely do. And like I said, more important, and keep following the feed because I'm sure there'll be new content eventually. Just we're kind of breaking from the regular schedule after these next 2 episodes. And like I said, the big thing, patreon.com/LOClass no dash. Bonus content up there all the time, but most of the time it's me and Jackie doing bonus episodes. So if you like our rapport, go there. And we have a lot of fun with those episodes. So they're like a lot of fun.
They're the most fun.
And there's like a ton up there. There's like I think like a dozen up there already. So if you're not a patron, go up and listen to the back catalog. But we should have a new one up by the end of this month, and if not soon after that. And we'll keep putting those up throughout the year. So patreon.com/LOClass no dash. And dude, for $1, you get all the bonus content. We have different tiers where you can get some stuff mailed to you and all that cool shit. But for $1, that's all. Every level gets the bonus stuff, and that's $1 is the lowest level. So give us $1, listen to some stuff, and we got some new stuff coming up. But this episode, then we got one more, and then we're taking a little break from you guys. But we'll always be around because we're your mom and dad, spiritually speaking.
Dad energy.
Dad energy. All right, you ready for topic 1, Boo?
Hell yeah.
1 topic down, 5 more to go.
No, guys, we only do 3. Don't worry.
Well, I mean, because 3 next episode.
Oh, I see. Okay.
All right, so Kamala Harris is a cop, or what people are saying. That's what people say. No, so I just saw this news story. Obviously, I feel like, if you're on social media at all, especially since Kamala Harris got some heat after the Dem debates, I feel that people that are against her most as like kind of like an insult, kind of like a don't vote for this person, don't let her trick you with her niceties.
Yeah.
And I just saw a head blown. So I guess technically she's not a cop. I think people have she's a former prosecutor, and I think in fairness, I think a lot of people have taken it from her quoting that she was the top cop when she was in the prosecution department. And she kind of has a record in those roles, kind of being tough on crime. I think she tried to rebrand that later as being smart on crime,
Yeah.
which is hilarious. She also had this really gross like truancy law that could possibly jail or fine parents whose students were truant, which seems super super gross, and a lot of people have pointed that out. She says she regrets it. Of course, they all do.
Yeah, it mostly just
Oh,
ended up
has this?
affecting like
Yeah,
poor black
yeah.
people.
Has what I had done has what I'd done affected people, and now it has a chance to hurt me? Well, I would like to regret it, even though I will do nothing to change its course. So, anyways, obviously, in this article, honestly, I read this CBS News article, Jackie. I don't know if you want to share it when you do your summary.
Yeah. Mhm.
JackieManty.com. Check out her summary
Yeah.
after every episode on Monday. But like the CBS News article is good because like, have you ever like read news and then you're like, oh yeah, I forgot sometimes every once in a while you run across news. So I feel like this article was news, and it was like because it was always framed like people that don't like her are saying this, people that defend her say this, and so it's just like, oh, those are facts without like an editorial voice,
What is this?
and it's both
Yeah.
sides without forcing both sides. It's like it's not because it's not even both sides. Like some people say this, some people say this,
Yeah.
and it's funny because you think more news should be like that because it uses the internet in a way that the internet could be used when it links to all, like when it says some people are saying this and then it'll link to another article where you can read what those, like a bigger scope of that thing.
Yeah.
Anyways, it was pretty good, pretty well written. But obviously, people have pointed out she also has done things, I guess, to help LGBTQ people and blah blah blah. I mean, clearly she's a Democrat, so she's I mean, probably going to have some, positive spikes on her record. But I still think that there's a lot of gross things on that same record. And I guess I just wanted to ask you, do you think those attacks are accurate, fair? Do they concern you?
Hmm.
And I guess also just the broader question, Kamala is a cop. Why are we at a place on the left or just in society in general where, that is a smear? That is like, we don't want that. This is a bad thing to have in your history. When you could argue that maybe being a prosecutor or even being like an actual cop, like some high ranking police chief, might have been like a kudos to you as you ran for office on either side of the political spectrum. But now it's like, again, it's like almost like a disqualifier. And I just think that seems like it's an interesting window we see cops, the police, and the justice system in general now. So just, expound on that shit. Go
Well,
ahead,
it
expound.
is like we want, because I feel like she's trying to rebrand herself as a progressive prosecutor, and that's such a buzzword right now. Like with Chicago, Kim Fox, and
Yeah.
the woman in Queens who has made a big dent in toward an election. Like people want prosecutors, DAs, people in these positions who are really pushing toward progressive policies. And I think Kamala, I do think there's a case to be made that she's spinning it so that you think she is one of those people, but her record shows otherwise. And I was reading this article in the New York Times. I think it's obviously an opinion piece. University of San Francisco School of Law, Laura Bazelon, and the title of the article is Kamala Harris was not a progressive prosecutor.
Okay.
And it says, quote, time after time when progressives urged her to embrace criminal justice reforms as a district attorney, and then the state's attorney fought tooth and nail to uphold wrongful convictions that had been secured through official misconduct that included evidence tampering, false testimony, and the suppression of crucial information by prosecutors. That's the most interesting thing to me, right?
I remember reading that too.
And
Yeah.
so I think that her not so you kind of dig into that a little more, not overturning wrongful convictions or really defending her people and the people in power versus doing what's fair or right for each conviction. If there's been evidence tampering, or I think there was something where someone in the evidence department was using the drugs and it affected a bunch of cases. And anyway, I feel like that's more alarming than her being a cop. Whatever. Like we need a rule of law. That's why I'm all for getting progressive prosecutors in, because they can actually reform it and change the system, right? But like I don't Kamala, yeah, I'm sure maybe she had a few key programs that were good. The reentry stuff is great, but it's not. You can't do that stuff and then be keeping people in jail who don't deserve to be. To me, it doesn't matter if you're a cop or not a cop. You're a bad leader. Like that's
Right.
not ideal. So I feel like that's more the idea of cop being slanderous
A pejorative term.
yeah, is whatever. I guess that's just the world we live in where we need like one word, one snappy thing to call someone that can fit in a hashtag. But yeah, I don't know. To me, that's what's gross is when you read more about the wrongful convictions and how it just seemed like she just was protecting her team or herself or you know not the people
Right.
and that's why the like truancy thing, yeah, that seemed really shitty and misguided, but she sort of changed her mind on that. And I guess like at this stage of the
Yeah.
election, I'm just like, okay, people
It's like,
try something,
but
fail,
it's like I
right?
saw a video clip of her, and because I guess there's people that have people have defended that. I read somewhere that only one person was actually like prosecuted under that truancy statute or whatever,
Mhm.
and she didn't go to jail. She had to pay like a fine or whatever, which is so gross. But I saw a video clip of her talking about it, like a younger her, like at the time, talking about that law, and she was saying like she 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 used her political capital to get that truancy law passed.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like you're saying, it's like, can you be responsible for like literally everything that happens in the judiciary of your state while you're a prosecutor? There's other prosecutors, there's judges, there's a whole system, and it's like maybe yes, maybe no, maybe a little bit, maybe a lot, but then like when you are saying like it speaks to like what you care about when that's what you've like that's what you're saying out of your mouth on video, saying like, yeah, this is what I wanted to get behind. And it's like
Mhm.
you said, it's not like you're saying like, look, no one wanted to do this clemency for nonviolent drug offenses bill, but I threw my weight behind that because I believe in it. Then like you said, then it's like, okay, then it's like whatever your record is, again, like, yeah, like choosing to pursue these wrongful convictions, not choosing to kind of overlook this mistreatment of people in her evidence for every wrongdoing that occurs, because it's like under her watch, but it's like not at her direct order. But that truancy thing is gross, and it's like she says out loud like, I wanted that, I pushed it, that was my thing. So it's like, again, like I don't see any evidence that there's any real progressive programs that kind of compete with the non-progressive grossness of that she's on record saying like, no one wanted this except me and I pushed it, which is basically what she says about that truancy thing. It's like, no one wanted it but I did, so I pushed it.
Mhm.
So it's like those are the kind of things that I feel like shows like just where your political values lay. So yeah, I think she's trash. I really don't like her.
Like a trash candidate.
Yeah, I don't care about her
Um
as a person.
yeah, it was frustrating. I mean, cuz I'm not a Biden fan either, but watching that debate and how just that was just such political maneuvering, and it's not even her necessarily, just political debates. I was like, God, this is why I tap out. It's so frustrating.
Yeah.
I don't they're not actually getting time and space to talk about what their plans are. It's just like who can compete and perform, and that's how we're judging it. Like, oh, well, Biden's not ready to stand up against Trump. He couldn't even stand up against Kamala Harris. And it's like, this is so fucking stupid. This is stupid that this is what we care about, And like the performance, I mean, the
Yeah.
like aspect of like, she took him down. It's like, I hate all of this. Like, I don't know.
Also, that is like a weird idea, right? Like, cause that's what I've heard too. It's like, I
Hmm.
was like, you saw her at those debates. Like, she's gonna be able to take Trump down in the debate.
Yeah, it's
And it's like, here's the thing: no one's gonna be able to take him down, because what does that mean to you? Is she gonna be more charismatic and hilarious than Donald Trump?
no
No,
way.
no one is.
Right.
Is you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Because they're the same kind of trash, milk toast, moderate, kind of pandery, but not even like pandery in a fun wall way. Pandery in like in a non fun like, you won't get anything, but I'm a woman way that it's like it
And
just
and I just am grossed out by Biden and Kamala. It was clearly like her just using her story to like attack him and use the fact that he's been in politics since fucking 1901,
yeah.
and like that he has changed his opinions on things is not allowed. But she is
Yeah.
allowed to, like she can do all this bullshit while she's the DA,
I
but
guess I
like
just like here's the thing that
I hate all of
the only
it.
reason I'm so hard for like Bernie Sanders is and the reason why I'm so upset when people aren't is because I feel like he is whether you like him as the actual candidate, like you want him as the candidate, him as your president or whatever. What I think is so great about him that like even talks about is that he has taken lies all the lies that we've been told by Democratic candidates for years. And I'm thinking about the two big ones right now. And he has said, no, those are fucking lies. You don't need to accept that as a voter. And I think the first big lie is what you're talking about. It's the idea of like, I made mistakes and it was a different time and I did this and I apologize. And then you have this fucking old man who's been in government forever who there's like a video clip of him on the Today Show in the 80s being like, I'm a socialist and I like socialism and I'm blah, blah, blah. And then you see him getting, dragged out of a civil rights protest by cops when he was like, in his 20s and he's like in his 70s now. And so it's like, voted against the Iraq war even when other fucking Democrats voted for that bullshit war. They want to act like it's George W. Bush's war, and it is, but it's like no one tried to stop him. Not enough people on the left. He did. And so it's like this idea that, yeah, you know what? Actually, if you are just like a person with actual real political ideals and you're not just following the wind in your sails, you know what? You can actually have a consistent and positive record for more than 2 decades. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's the that lie I think has been squashed. Like now that I see a candidate be like, yeah, you can like you
Can
can
I ask what you sorry, I mean to interrupt you, but like why you pick Bernie over an Elizabeth Warren? Because I feel like she's had a pretty consistent
I just
record. If
think
that's
because
what you like, I'm just interested.
I just think I mean, to me, it's like he's the OG. Like she didn't run, she wasn't in the mix last year. He was. And I don't know. I think because he's been like a Democratic socialist for years. So he's like immersed in like an ideology, not just a list of policies. He's also just been very honest, like again, for all these dumb liberals who are always like, oh, we need to start voting in the midterms. We need to start voting in our state elections. And we all think that's a great idea. But
It
he's the
is.
only one that's had like his political campaign for 2020. I don't know if it was as much. Like, you need to do stuff too, the people. Like, you need to do stuff. You need to help out. You need to vote down, down the ticket and all that shit. So that's why I like him. Whereas, like, to me, like, her stuff sounds cool, but sometimes all I hear is kind of like, just like you know, I just kind of sometimes just hear like a hemp necklace version of Build the Wall and some of her policies. It's like I like them, but like, is that really gonna happen? Like, and it's kind of just a policy. It's not tied to like a greater ideology of change and government overhaul. So that, and I think the it's just such a turd. And if you if she gets the nomination, if you don't think Donald Trump is just, if that's going to be the new emails, if you're, you know what I mean? Like,
No, I don't think so. I think he has already like played that card to death.
wouldn't you think that
To
about the
genocide.
emails? You know what I mean?
I don't know. It's not the same.
Anyways, but the point, so the big thing is, I think Bernie squashed that lie that you can be in politics for longer than a decade or so and not have things you regret. I mean, maybe not. Maybe there's a couple policies, a couple bills he's gotten behind or signed on to that didn't go the way. But like in general, since his 20s, since his college days, he's had a very consistent political philosophy that followed him through, state level politics into national politics. So there's no like there's it just again like just we don't have to settle for a Kamala Harris anymore. Someone that's like, I'm gonna help the working
Yeah.
people. I did jail a lot of them, but that was a mistake. Like,
Yeah.
we used to have to settle for that. Used to have to settle for Hillary Clinton being like, I know I said super predators, but now I carry hot sauce in my book bag and I like black people and it's all chill now. Like, you can have someone that's like black people when you got beaten by the cops for doing so. Like, you get to have that now. Like, you don't. And the second thing that I like about him that doesn't get brought up enough is that he doesn't take corporate money. And again, that was the
Yeah.
big Democratic lie was like, guys, listen, there's
God.
nice one.
Sorry. Wow.
Listen, guys, this was the Democrats' line for like decades. Guys, listen, here's the thing. If I don't take money from Goldman Sachs, we're just going to there's not going to be a single Democrat elected to office ever. There's just too much corporate money. The Republicans are getting all of it. So here's the thing. I'm going to take Goldman Sachs money. I'm going to take fossil fuel money. But I swear, once I come, we're like, oh, that makes sense because they do like us, but they do need the money. And I guess that Goldman Sachs would keep getting money, even though they wouldn't get anything for it. Because that's the politicians, they're very smart. They're sneaky. All right, I'll vote for you. And then what do we see? Democrats, they'll give us some red meat every once in a while. They'll be like, look at this transgender kid I'm hugging, but also like I'm destroying everything about the banking system and the housing market and minimum wage and your jobs and your health care. I'm destroying that because of my donors, but look at me dancing at this pride parade. Aren't you glad you voted for me?
Him.
So, but that was the lie. But we kept taking it even after we saw that because we're like, at least we get them dancing at the Pride Parade and everyone's taking money. You need money. We're just in a hell world where you need corporate money if you even want to get elected. And then he's over here getting $5 a pop from plumbers and almost winning last time and in second place this time. And so to me, now I'm like, now you have no excuses. Now you're only taking money from Goldman Sachs because you want to take money from Goldman Sachs because you want to do work for Goldman Sachs because you want to be Goldman Sachs' little fucking errand dog. That's the only reason you take it now because you've had a candidate 2 cycles in a row being like, you don't need it. You really don't need it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cheaper to advertise than ever, more than ever. You can get free advertisement through Twitter and social media. And, even if you need millions of dollars, you can get that in small donations. So to me, there's no excuse for a presidential candidate, let alone a down ticket candidate, ever taking corporate money again. There's just no excuse.
Yeah.
And if you want to take it from, I don't know, fucking firefighters or fucking unions, shit like that at least is in lockstep with party ideals, fine, maybe that's chill. But like, the idea that I would ever vote for a candidate ever again after Bernie Sanders that took money from fossil fuels, pharmaceuticals, healthcare, or banking is insane. I would never do that. And to me, what he's made so great is that's no longer high pie-eyed idealism anymore. That's someone that's he's on the way to run his second successful presidential campaign using that method of financing. So, I think he's taken away those 2 giant excuses, and I'll forever love him for that. Even though, we're going to get a Joe Biden, Kamala Harris ticket. It's going to lose, and, we're all going to have a picture of Trump in our living room, lest we be taken to the, American version of the gulags, which will probably be just some death race style reality TV show.
The race.
Yeah. So. And that's why it'll be called The Race, and it'll be people of different races racing against each other, and whoever loses is sent to a work camp.
Yeah.
So, and people will be like, "This is disgusting." But we've also been so numb to entertainment that we're going to kind of enjoy this. Because if Americans can do anything better than any other country, it's enjoy their demise while eating popcorn.
Disassociate. Right.
What were you going to say? And we should move on so you can have the last word.
Just the horror of a Biden-Kamala Harris ticket. I never thought of that.
Because what do you think's more likely? That they'll punch each other for the next year?
No.
Or that they'll just get their camps together? And, dude, maybe even like Harris Biden, I don't think he would go for that. But maybe. But either way, I bet, she's still polling like 4th. And Elizabeth Warren's a much more popular female candidate, which everyone is hungry for. So you're telling me as much as she beat up on him over that busing shit, you're telling me that if he went, hey, listen, Why fight? They like you. I'm polling number 1 because most people are soft-headed morons. You're polling number 4 because you look like what people think the next president should look like. Why don't we combine that energy? You be my VP. Let's torch these motherfuckers. If I win, you know I'm not going to do 2 terms. I'm way too old. I'll bow out. Now you're the former vice president. You'll be president in 2020. And then the hilarious part is they will lose. They will get destroyed in a hilarious fashion. And that would be fun to watch.
No, let's move on.
So,
Topic 2.
Topic 2.
All
Let's
right.
do it.
So this is an article in Fast Company written by a woman who is 61 years old, and that is important that she's a woman and that she's 61. She is filing a lawsuit against NY1 News on Time Warner Cable. Basically, she spent 3 decades in TV, winning 2 Emmys, but she lost opportunities to men and younger women. And when she complained about it, she was told that's just the way it is. So basically, age discrimination.
Mm-hmm.
And that, in this Fast Company piece, she writes that nearly 2/3 of workers aged 45 and older have seen or experienced age discrimination at work. And I don't necessarily want to talk about this specific story because we don't know her. What's her name? Roma Tori. I am interested, though. I feel like it's been a few years since Me Too really took hold, and you see women on TV and in movies, and I do feel like the age thing hasn't changed. This age-old age complaint that you don't see older women on TV. It's a lot of younger women who get roles or get these kind of gigs, the news gigs, and it's hard to be an older woman on camera. And I've been thinking about it. This story sparked interest because we recently got AMC stubs. We don't have Movie Pass anymore, but we do the
fuck Movie Pass.
Yeah, fuck Movie
I
Pass.
heard it had another major outage.
Oh really? It's
Or just,
still
went,
going. See,
still
that's
going.
I'm so egocentric that when we got rid of it, I'm like, Movie Pass is what? It's still around? It's over.
Still chugging.
But so we've been going to more movies, and we keep seeing the same trailers. And one of the trailers that has been fucking bugging me is for the new Quentin Tarantino movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and it stars Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt, who are fucking old.
I'm gonna look up how old they are.
44 and 51, okay, which in Hollywood terms is old. But they are the stars, and still
Leonardo DiCaprio is 44.
I think Brad Pitt's 51.
You can keep talking.
But anyway, so it's fun. It looks like a super fun movie about these old guys.
He's 55.
55? Wow.
He looks great.
Brad Pitt looks amazing. Yeah, but he still looks old though too. I don't know. Anyway,
he was born in 1963.
If you look up the cast for that movie,
because Tom Cruise is 57. George Clooney's 58. Those are good. Now Johnny Depp is 56, and he looks all of it. He looks all of 56.
So if you look up the rest of the cast for that movie, it's all the women are 30, 33 was the oldest I could find. I think Lena Dunham is in it, who's 33, and there's another woman who's 33. All the other female leads are
Margot
20.
Robbie's in it, right?
She's 28. It's just women in their 20s, which it's great that there are these roles for women, but I do think that I don't see that changing of women getting older or older women having the same sort of opportunities. And fucking, I'm not in that business. I don't know what's happening in the industry, right? But it is just kind of still annoying to see that. And then Avengers, all these old dudes are playing these superheroes, and we have one older lady with Gwyneth Paltrow, but it's mostly just younger chicks. But I understand that sure, when Iron Man came out first, it was younger, but still, you sort of see these older men age with, I don't know, gravitas, and then women are sort of seen as expendable after their 30s. Do you still get that sense, or am I too sensitive to it?
I think so. I think this is
It's
another
too
one of those things.
sensitive.
Like, I think if you really, I think it's like, here's the thing.
Because I know that
I think
happens.
it's probably I think if you like went through movies, let's say the last 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
like you looked at like the top 10 movies each month, and then kind of like looked at the age distribution of like the the five top billed actors in each thing, and did like a age kind of splatter of men's ages and women's ages. I think you would find, yes, there are probably older men getting more roles than older women.
Mm.
But I don't think it's. I think it's one of those things. It's like, remember when we were talking about the car?
Mm-hmm.
You get a Honda Civic, you see Honda Civics. I think when you're looking for this, you see it,
Yeah.
but when you're not, you don't notice it, and you don't realize. Like, did Frances McDormand won an Oscar last year
Sure.
for Three Billboards, and then like the year before, was it the same year where the one lady won it for supporting actress for Lady Bird, Lori Metcalf,
Mm-hmm.
and then there was the other lady for what is it? I Am Tanya. I Love Tanya.
I, Tanya.
I Tanya. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
there was no word. It was just I comma. I Tanya, the mom. She got like a best supporting actress.
Yeah.
Not and Margot
Yeah.
Robbie didn't get anything, and she was young. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
there's plenty of old women in huge movies, and then getting recognition for their roles.
Yeah.
And I think honestly the reason this doesn't concern me, because I think any disparity, because there's probably slight disparity, is it's just what it is, man. It's just like you know it's a visual medium, and women are still like,
Oh God.
but I'm just saying it's natural. I'm saying women will go like Brad Pitt, super hot. Men see a 55-year-old woman, go, not super hot, not into it. But like if women universally all at once were like, once a man turns 28, we don't want anything to do with them, you would see these men getting less roles. Does that make sense?
I mean, I guess. I think the better argument to be made is that it's about scripts that are available. So
I just
having
wonder
better
who else is like
having roles for older
55.
women.
Like, I'm gonna search actresses over 50 because I want to see if there's anyone even close to as hot as Brad Pitt, but a lady.
I mean, no, because that's so subjective, Justin. That just depends on what
Is Halle
you.
Berry over 50?
Yes, and she's gorgeous.
Julianne Moore is pretty hot.
We don't. We can move on. I just think it's interesting, but I know that like
Susan Sarandon also hot.
I think Meryl Streep's super hot.
What? That's insane.
Yeah, she's so
She
pretty.
is not hot. She wasn't even hot when she was younger. She's just a good actress. I think Ellen Barkin is also kind of hot. She's got that mean thing going.
Yeah, Ellen Barkin's sexy.
Everyone likes like a mean lady sometimes. You just need a mean lady to just yell at you till you're rock hard. You ever like to get yelled at till you're just wet, soaking wet?
Ellen Barkin's your girl.
Anyways.
Yeah, let's move on to topic 3.
I just think it's like don't you think it's a little natural though? Meaning like women stay attracted to men older than men stay attracted to women older.
Yeah,
And
but
so-
why is that? Is that because
so-
we're seeing it? Because we're not allowed. You don't
I-
really see
I
older
just-
women who are
No,
being sexy
I
and in
think
good
that's
sexy roles.
no. That
Whereas like guys, yeah, this role is like built for them to be these
Here's
handsome,
the thing.
attractive, sexy
there's
guys.
nature and nurture, but we always ignore nature when we want a nurture only explanation. And it's always the idea that society just has this strong power to just manipulate our sexual urges. When it's like it's not, it's just not that way. Like we just
Also,
are
why
who we
does
are.
it have to be a sexual? Like, why can't?
Because that's my point.
Why
It's a
are you
visual
looking
medium.
for
It's
that?
video to look at them, and that's what I'm saying. That's my point. Is like if women said like I don't want to see men. I'm not like attracted to men over 40. Men over 40 would not get as many roles, and I wouldn't call sexism. I would just be like, yeah, it's a visual medium. That's what happens. Get into radio plays. I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. I'm not saying that men are better or women are better or men are worse. I'm just saying like, if any disparity, it's a Am I saying that right? Disparaging. If there's any disparity, I think it's just a natural thing that men are less likely to be attracted to an older women are likely to be attracted to older men. And clearly, there is a reason that all actors and actresses, for the most part, are attractive because that's an important part of the job. You have to be a good actor as that skill, but we're looking at you for 90 minutes at a
But
time.
wouldn't you argue that everything's a visual medium? I mean, any job
If
you're
no one
doing is a
cares.
visual
No,
thing.
because no one cares if you're a painter, if you're dog shit ugly. Does anyone even know what Pablo Picasso looks like?
He was hot.
But I'm just saying, like, these are people that are like, they're literally projected giantly on a screen in the dark to be stared at. You know?
I guess there's a difference though between like I can see you making that whatever case for fucking a Hollywood movie, but like the news, it's the news. It's not a visual medium. It should be
That's
about
true.
the story.
That's true, and I also don't like old guys on the news.
You think so you think it all should
Because
be
it's like
20 somethings?
No, it's just like
They're not actually reporting it. They're just reading it.
Still, it's like you're all old. Like I just
No, that's what I mean. Is that like
Try
you
to,
could
like-
you could be young and inexperienced.
Who's that one guy that does all his Facebook posts?
Dan
I
Rather?
fucking hate those things.
Why?
It's just such trash. It's like, get out of here. Go. You just be done with this. These like lukewarm takes on the day in some kind of like voice, this tone
Dad
of yesteryear.
energy.
But
Dad.
not
Grandpa
like
energy.
grandpa energy, which I have never defended. Never defended.
You have never defended.
Grandpa energy is trash.
You
Dad
have,
energy
you have
is good.
requested grandpas die.
Like young person energy is necessary. It's keeps the embers of the world burning and turning. Dad energy makes sure the house doesn't burn down. And grandpa energy is just angry. No one cares what it was like 20 years ago. Oh, Donald Trump is president. I remember a time when president was an honor. Well, you know what, Dan? It's not an honor anymore. We just all want our friend there. And some people make worse friend decisions. Some people are friends with cool black guys. Some people are friends with psycho racist guys, all right? But either way, we both want our friends. We're not better than the other side. We just like better people, but we're the same dumb idiots, all right, Dan? No one is electing people anymore.
All right, Dan.
We want a buddy. You guys wanted kind of a pseudo king. You're old. You don't get it. So your first sentence has fucking just negated the rest of your 3 fucking paragraphs of drivel. You did a good job for 20 years. Now go play golf and go do something else.
Well, I don't think this
You're not even-
newscaster lady would like you.
You don't
because
even-
She
you're
was
not
making
even-
a case for old people being wise.
No, you're not. You're old. You're posting on Facebook 5 paragraphs, which shows you don't even get the medium. That's why you're old. You don't get it, Dan. What do? Post a meme about what you think about President Trump or get off Facebook. Your grandkids want to listen to you, but they don't. But bother them, not me. I'm not your grandkid. The fuck out of here, Dan.
Dan.
So see, I'm not biased.
Dan, I'd rather
not
not listen to you.
Yeah, exactly. That was pretty good.
Thank you.
So anyway, see, I'm not sexist.
Let's move on to time.
Maybe
and
a little
green. I
ageist.
think you're a little ageist.
Can I say one thing though?
Yeah.
The thing I would like to just also tack on, which was the first thing I said, which I'd like to also be the last thing I said, I'm saying if there's any disparity, I think it's because of kind of just a natural attraction that men have to women and women have to men, and I think attractiveness plays a role in roles. It just does.
I get what you're saying.
But-
I just think that there is a chicken and egg thing happening here where I do think that because you don't see older women in sexy roles where it's just it's sort of
who wants to see that?
I do. It's
You-
like
you
when
really
no,
don't, though.
listen. It's like the argument I always made about Amy Schumer. I love that movie because she doesn't have to make a thing about how she's a bigger girl. She just has all the confidence and that is sexy.
But
that
she is
just
attractive enough. Meaning, what your argument, Amy Schumer is to a super hot actress. The distance between that is not wide. So if you're saying we should have more 42-year-olds being hot in movies instead of just 32-year-olds, I'm like, yeah, that's fine. But no, we're not gonna have a 61-year-old being hot. And the movies are for hot people almost always. But, again, my big caveat, I just had to mention that because I think if there is a disparity, that's what's at play. But my big point, that's point 1B. Point 1A, which is much bigger, think if you really went through the movies of the last 5, even 10 years, you would see the disparity is not huge.
Yeah.
I think I mean, Michelle Pfeiffer, right? She was in Ant-Man. She was like the Michael Douglas,
I know.
her
And
and him.
well,
Like,
that's why I wanted to talk about it too, because I know that like
there's a lot of actresses
it,
over
but
45.
it is like you say though. I mean, I don't fucking agree with all your arguments you've made right now, but like I do agree that there are times when you see what you want to see because you're looking for it, and
Yeah.
so I see one trailer and I'm like, fucking look at all these 20 somethings with
Plus, I
these
mean, but
old
if
guys,
and I
like angry animosity that like hot women always get paired with like really dopey guy. Like what was that fucking movie with Charlize Theron and Seth Rogen, and people
oh
are
yeah,
like,
yeah.
this is so bad because like he could never land a lady that's that hot, and I'm like, that's really fucked up. And I used to be
I
not-
get bitches.
I used to be on that like camp where I'd like be like, this is insulting to women, like this shows how much you don't like women. And I've started to look at that differently, where this clearly shows how much we don't men too who are not hot, you know, or like
Yeah.
or are a little pudgy. Like we are fat shaming them in that argument, you know? Like
Also,
it's
he could get someone that hot because I did.
well
I totally outkicked
well
my
that's what I'm like,
coverage.
he's so
Being funny.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like what an offensive argument to bigger people, right?
But
That
also,
like
that
why
is, there's just different. To me, if you see like a hot guy, or sorry, like a not hot guy with a hot chick, that's when you're like, whoa, good snag on that guy. That's he like really kind of went beyond his limitations to grab that. But it doesn't work that way. When you don't think that when you see a not hot girl with a hot guy.
what do you think?
You don't think anything. And also you don't really see it at all. But what you do when you see like a not super hot girl with a rich guy, that's when you're like, whoa, she really like snagged outside of her reach. Good for her. That's like the equivalent. The not hot guy with the hot girl is like the not hot girl with the rich guy. Those are the equivalents.
Okay.
Because a not hot girl can get a hot guy, you know? Because guys have proclivity. And again, when I say hot, I guess I'm saying traditionally hot. Because there can be hot guys that are like, I like a gap tooth. You know, I like a little bit of weight. I like them when they're kind of short and weird looking. You know, hot guys have proclivities too. You know, and if they don't, then they're just gonna bang hot girls. So that's why I said you're also just not gonna see it a lot. But usually men get rich to get traditionally attractive people.
Well, and
So when you see like a rich guy with like a not hot girl, you're like,
I guess
good for
also
her.
this new Tarantino movie that I'm like complaining about is set in the 70s. Wait, when 60s?
Late
Then
60s, right?
Because it's like about Charlie Manson and like Margot Robbie plays Sharon Tate. And so, to be fair, like these older men at that time, older men were definitely trying to bang 20 something.
Well, I was gonna, and I haven't seen the movie either, and you haven't either. We've just seen the trailer, but I would say again in the camp of seeing what you want to see every once in a while, I think this is also a bad example because the premise of the movie, based on the trailer, is Margot Robbie is playing Sharon Tate, who was a young actress, and Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt are playing actors / stuntmen who are washed up or on their way to being washed up.
Yeah.
So they have
and
to
that's
cast
like
old
what
guys.
they're complaining about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's more and that's fine. That's fair. I guess it's more like, can we do
I mean, I'm sure
can we
Ryan.
do a different
I'm sure Ryan
storyline? I feel like I know that we've seen that story so much.
Okay,
you know?
but
like,
I'm saying I'm sure Ryan Gosling is still getting roles that Brad Pitt would have gotten 20 years ago.
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? Like
So I don't.
It's
I
like
still
more
think
an
men.
issue of representation.
I still think when
just-
men when older, it still puts limits on the roles they will get asked to play, and there's still a new crop of young hot dudes that will take those old men's roles. And it doesn't mean there's no place for them, but it's the same thing. There's not no place for older women. Just if you're 50, you're probably not gonna play like a hot lady anymore.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Play moms and aunts because you win awards for that, and you had 20 years to be hot.
I have a really urgent question though.
Okay, what is it?
Why could Captain America get Thor's hammer
I
in
don't
that
know,
fight
dude.
scene?
Why would you ask
I
me
need to
that?
Google that.
There's probably one of the other movies. I've only seen like 4 of those
Oh, okay.
movies. I don't know. It's,
I didn't know if he was Loki. Like, Loki can
yeah,
like.
I don't think
Okay,
that's.
I
I
saw
don't
that.
know.
Also.
Why does Jesus hate gays?
Anger,
or does he? I don't know. But that's why the
outrage,
Avengers are.
and then
That's why
serious questions about Avengers.
That's why superhero movies are our new gods, right? How'd Jesus walk on
we
water?
don't know. They just did it.
He just did it. What does that mean? Who knows?
Mm.
Because it's not real. Neither are the Avengers. Looked pretty cool, didn't it? Everyone
Also,
wants
yeah,
a
you
good
would think
story.
Ant-Man, he's so big, he could have just smashed all the bad guys. There's a lot of holes in the story.
What? Well, now I don't like it.
Let's do topic 3.
I didn't know there were holes. All right. Well, speaking of movies, so everyone or no one, who knows? I sometimes think that these things are made up by the studios to just get traction for
Some
their
buzz.
movie. But who knows? People are dumb enough to be mad. Plus, even if the studio did kind of plant the seed, I'm sure there's enough dumb people like, yeah, for sure. I actually agree with that thing someone made up as almost a goof.
Yeah.
So there's going to be so Disney basically is just like, is there any like studio lazier than Disney at this point? Right? Because they just bought Pixar, right? They're just like, well, right? Don't they own Pixar?
Yeah,
but they
Disney
didn't
Pixar.
used to. Pixar was its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then Disney bought them, right?
Yeah, like a while
So they're
ago,
pretty
though,
much like,
right?
you're crushing animation more than we ever could. We'll buy you. Marvel, you're making billions of dollars. We're going
Like
ahead and
when
buy
Facebook
you.
bought Instagram.
Oh, are you going to do any other interesting ideas, Disney? No, but what to do any movie that was at least moderately successful as an animated movie, we'd like to literally do a shot-for-shot remake, but with real actors and actresses / CGI instead of animation. Cool. Just like, isn't it just like, I mean, I'm not saying it's not nice to look at every once in a while, but can we just all agree that just Disney is just a crater of creativity and innovation? It's just a husk of innovation in terms of storytelling or reimagining of anything. It sucks.
No new friends.
So, what's that? I mean, is that
It's
a
that
nice...
Drake song. I was just
Oh,
saying,
okay.
like, no new friend. No, well, now that you've asked me to explain it, it's no longer fun. Probably wasn't that fun to begin with.
It was like, that's why I wanted to know more, because I was like, that was fun to hear, but what does it
I
even
had
mean?
Disney-fied Drake's no new friends.
Gotcha. Anyways, so we're going to have a live-action Little Mermaid because there's no need to create anything new in the modern era. Who is going to play the Little Mermaid, Ariel? It is Bailey. Holly Bailey? I don't know because I'm not 12 years old.
Haley Bailey.
Is it Haley Bailey or Holly Bailey?
I think it's like Holly Berry.
I'm gonna be. Well, I was saying when I was reading the headlines, I was like,
Holly Berry.
there's got to be a lot of people like me who was like, wait, is Holly Berry playing Ariel?
Then there was like
that's
there
what
was a headline that said Halle Berry tweeted at Halle Bailey.
Well, that's the other thing is like when you were talking just this last topic, when I read the headline, like people mad about Halle Bailey being the new Ariel, I was like, Halle Berry's gonna be the new Ariel? She's like 50. Like Ariel's like supposed to be like
weird
a...
You're calling her Ariel too. It's Ariel.
Ariel? I don't fucking know. Who gives a shit? All these fucking in between names. Who cares? It's also make believe. There is not a Little Mermaid.
What?
And she's not black. no, she is. She's nothing. She's made. It's make 'em ups. You dumb. This is so. Anyways,
She's a fish person.
It's got to be. It's like she's in like a band, Chloe X Haley, right? Or Chloe, because Chloe X Holly. That I don't know. Who gives a shit? It's Halle Bailey. Anyway, she's fucking black. And people are mad because they're like Ariel is an Ariel.
Not my Ariel.
Black, and that's fact. If I saw it 20 years ago in a cartoon, that's facts to me. So I saw it once. I didn't think of it. It wasn't my invention. It was given to me. And
I have masturbated to the redhead.
Yes, exactly.
Don't.
How
fuck
dumb
with
are
that.
people?
I know.
But I went, yeah, you are right. Twitter account with no followers. You are right. So it's like, and spawned out of reality. Reality has taken their big dumb grubby mitts and rubbed them all over this fucking thing. So yeah, do I care that the Little Mermaid is black? No, I don't care that anyone's black. I don't care about anything. You know what's funny about race? Can I just do like 5 race rant?
Yeah.
It's not real. Does anyone know this, that it's not real? Like, it's not real. Like, So you know race science? That's a thing. Race science. Do you remember race science? Have you ever probably all heard about race science, right? There's like the Afrikanes and the Caucasianoids and the something like that and the Asianides. It's basically some scientists. There's races and there's race and the Caucasian race, and they're all good at certain things and bad at certain things. And you know what we found out? It's bunk. It's based on nothing. Once we learn about DNA, we're like, this is bullshit. We're actually all the same. We just look kind of different because things look different, right?
Yeah.
But we're the same fucking thing, and none of that matters. Some black people are fast. Some white people are fast. Anything else is just bunk science. It's not science. It's nothing. And then today in 2019, why is you're racist? But also, black people, that's a real thing. It's like, no, it's not. It's not real. Black people aren't real. White people aren't real. It's not real. That's race, and race isn't real. It's all part of the same thing. It's funny that there's this archaic junk pseudoscience that if you told people about it, they'd throw out. But just so you know, the idea of race at all is born in that. So the fact that you still use race as a thing, but you throw out the kind of more racist-y parts of it, that's still where it came from. It's still not a real thing.
Don't you think, though, that it is important to make that distinction sometimes because of the fucking...
They faced it because people still think they're different.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason they think it's different is because we think there's such a thing as black people. Even progressive people think there's such a thing as black people, and there's not. They're just people. The only time you should be using black people is if you're like, hey, I think John knows where the beer is. Who's John? He's the black guy in the shirt over there. Otherwise, it's dumb.
Mm-hmm.
I get it that black people are marginalized in America because of how they look.
No, I just mean...
But they're not black. They're dark-skinned people. And that matters still because we're still kind of orangutans. But my point is, it's like, who cares if the Little Mermaid's black? It's not real. It's not real. It's not a real thing.
It's so stupid. Also, her hair is amazing, and that's really all that matters. It should be cast by amazing hair.
It's just funny because it's like, be progressive or don't. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what just makes me mad. It happens with gender and race. Gender gets talked about more, but it's still the idea of like, it's like we talked about. It's like, I'm actually a woman. Or how about, I thought we talked about 10 years ago that girls can play with trucks and boys can play with Barbies. So maybe you feel different. Maybe you're just a man that feels different because gender doesn't matter. You know what I mean? And like, they're kind of the same thing with race. It's like, maybe it's a mermaid. So who gives a shit because race isn't real? Instead of like the idea, like, we actually need more black mermaids. Actually, that's like the new progressive thing. It's like, actually, all mermaids should be black to make up for all the times we didn't have black mermaids. It's like, no, how about just like the best mermaid? Just who's ever best at acting like a mermaid gets to be a mermaid. And you know what? It's just some redheaded white girl comes in and crushes acting like a mermaid at the audition. Yeah, for sure, give it to her. Just because she's the best. That's the thing. It's like everyone can be a mermaid now. That's progressive. The idea that we have to make up for mermaid indiscretions of the past, that's retarded. You know what I mean? So, anyways.
Yeah, what's annoying
that's
about
Disney
topic
too
3.
But this isn't
like
topic. Aren't you going to miss this show? Sorry.
Where I'll agree with you that Disney is sort of just stale when it comes to storytelling is they have one black princess, and that's Aurora. It's like doing...
What movie is that from?
The Princess and the Frog.
Oh, okay.
But like she's not even really a princess. She's just this story from New Orleans, right? But like, well, I guess she's a princess. It's in the title, but whatever. If you really did want to be progressive, Disney, like, cool new story, and she's the princess, and doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, instead of like, we'll have black Ariel and redhead Ariel,
or just get weird. I think that like Beauty and the Beast, Beauty should have been Emma. What's her face? Watson. Or who was it? Emma Watson, and the Beast should have been DMX, and we should have just had to be like, do you believe in love enough to believe that DMX DMX is dicking down Emma Watson at the end of this movie after the credits roll. How progressive are you? Are you going to let your pristine
is
porcelain white woman just get ravaged by a guy who barks for a living? Are you going to let that happen?
Because Beast
If
is
not,
like,
then you don't believe in interracial marriage. You just want Susan Sarandon to blow W. Kamau Bell. That's not real interracial progressiveness. You gotta take it all the way or not away at all.
yeah, and the Beast would have been the great way to like work that in, because
Yeah.
most of the movie you don't know what he is. He's just a beast.
And how good is he? Transforms back into a man, and he's just like, ho, ho.
Yeah. He's got the bark down. Yeah.
Yeah. These cats don't know. I'm about to be a beast coming at you from the west and the east. Oh, oh, oh.
I don't think he would have wanted to change from a beast, though.
No.
He would have stayed straight fucking beast.
She would have been like, I actually love you now, so we can reverse the curse. And he's like, don't say that yet. Let the flower go down. I'm going to stay a beast, but we will still fuck.
It's going to be crazy, girl.
It's going to be so crazy. Also, by the way, I'm DMX. I'm not a prince. I'm just rich, and I bought this elaborate castle because I do not know how to manage my estate.
I am
deeply in debt.
Those wolves out there, those were just my dogs.
Those are just my pit bulls. That's why, yeah, no wolves, just pit bulls.
Just pit bulls.
No wolves, just pit bulls. And then her dad comes in at the end, and he's like, it's not because he's DMX. It's just, maybe we just want to talk about this a little more. Make the dad be kind of racist, and Emma Watson's kind of,
that's
like
Beauty and the Beast Part 2.
Yeah, like that's what I want to see. Anyway, so it's like, I don't know, like I think
there's a talking bong.
Yeah. I just want these franchise, like again, like here's the thing, just cast the best person. But if you're gonna make it a big thing about like we're gonna do some diversity casting, then be diverse, right?
Well, and then like I said, it sort of plays into topic too. Like, just give them their own story. It's like when they redid Ghostbusters, but with girls, it was like, that's so dumb. Just give these 4 amazing actresses their own like killer storyline.
Well, it's like, okay, it's like so you said, like, oh, we picked a cute young girl to be Ariel. What a controversy! Like, but also like, way to take a big swing, Disney. Like, that's not a diversity hire. You know what I mean? Like, to me, it's Little Mermaid. That's really flipping the script on our preconceived notions of Disney. Otherwise, you're just like, hey, kind of the same thing, but a little darker. We took a chance. It's like, you didn't. Anyways, we got to close this out. We're running long.
Yeah, what was your question?
My question was, if you could take any franchise, Disney or otherwise, and sub into traditionally white roles in that franchise, black role, like a black actor or actress, what franchise would you choose? And if you have casting, like an actual casting choice, like it would be this black actor for this white role franchise, bonus points. But you can also just pick a franchise too.
I kind of just read over the word franchise and didn't click, so
yeah,
I just have a movie.
That's fine too.
Okay.
I guess I'm something that has an iconic white character.
Yeah. Showgirls.
Okay. Black Showgirls?
Black Showgirls.
Takes place in Atlanta instead of Las Vegas.
Fuck yeah.
For sure.
With Tessa Thompson as Elizabeth Berkley's character.
Okay.
I fucking love Tessa Thompson, and I think she's so deep and sexy and dark. I feel like she could like fucking nail this role.
And you mean dark personally, not physically.
Not physically.
Before you get angry tweets.
Not physically.
Not my Jackie.
She's like, I think she can do, I mean, 'cause she just plays brooding really well, and like brooding, and like
we're thinking
Ariel. Okay, like I think she could play a
people. I'm dumb. You're supposed to be a writer.
She could play a really fucked up person well. I would love to see her do that. Okay, now Gina Gershon's character, the older lady, Tracy Ellis Ross.
Who is that?
Who I
that
fucking
name sounds
love.
familiar.
She's Rainbow on Blackish, the mom.
Oh, yeah.
And she is amazing. I love her Instagram account. And
she's a great casting
She's
choices.
always like, sure, her fashion's amazing. She's got it. Like, I would love to see her perform a Showgirls act and then be this like the older lady who is, so catty. She'd be awesome at it. And now the twist, the like leader, because this is 2019 and it's black women and they don't fucking play, the leader or the person who's in charge of them all, instead of being an old white Italian guy, it's Viola fucking Davis. Isn't that good casting? Oh, I would watch that movie 3 times.
Did you
with my
like
AMC
Showgirls?
stubs. Yeah.
Okay.
I like
I don't know if
Showgirls.
I feel like I might have
It's really
seen
silly, but like I like it.
That's weird.
I liked
You
it.
just again like your pop culture canon is so weird.
It's kind of fucked
The
up.
fact that you've seen that multiple times.
Yeah.
And
Well,
some
no,
of the other
it's
stuff
not,
you made.
that shouldn't be a surprise. That's because it was on like cable a lot when we were like in college. So I would watch it on like.
I think I've seen it, but I might not even have seen it all the way through. But
It's
I know the
it's not a great movie.
I know
but
the
like,
characters enough. Some people really like it. I mean, it's like a cult classic.
It's
So I don't think it's like critically acclaimed, but some people are like, it's goofy and I love it. I'm just saying, like,
I love it, and I
agree with your casting and really applaud it.
yeah.
But
Thank
we
you.
should maybe watch it again.
And you know what's those are like my 3 favorite actresses right now in general. Everyone's like Elizabeth Moss, and I'm like, yeah, but like maybe season 1 of Handmaid's Tale. Like right now, Tessa Thompson is fucking brilliant.
Do not
And
get
Tracy
me off on
Ellis
Handmaid's
Ross,
Tale.
love her. Davis, they're brilliant. They need those fucking roles.
All right, good pick.
Forget the young women. Like
I want to
give these ladies some good movies.
This is what I would like to see. I would like to see. I'm not sure. So here's the thing. I really like Michael Jai White. You know him at all?
No.
He was Black Dynamite in the movie Black Dynamite. Remember Black Dynamite? It was like that take on like a 70s blaxploitation film, but it came out in like recent time, 2009 it came out.
Yes. Yep, I googled him. Yes.
But he kind of like
oh, he's so handsome.
But if you're a guy like me, you kind of know him as like he's kind of like a really underrated action star. A lot of his stuff kind of goes like direct to video, but he's like a really good action star. Like he's got good karate, he's got good gun stuff. Like he's a good action star, but I think because here's the thing. Let's see. Speaking of age, this is like another thing. Let me see if I can find his age. Should have thought about this before the topic. He's 51, but he looks good with the guy that played Dr. Dre in the NWA movie. Did not really go that well.
24, like the countdown?
Yeah, like the one with like Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah.
So it's like, but I like the idea of like, yeah, like I would love to see like Michael Jai White as like Neo in the Matrix. I would like to see like Michael or something like that, or maybe John McClane's part, because it doesn't necessarily need to be like a full sub in. Because I'm thinking of like a Rocky, where it's like, I mean, we didn't get, like Creed was a different character, but we essentially got Black Rocky. And so like, I think Michael Jai White, he should be doing like the Liam Neeson roles. He should be being like an old man action hero. Like they took my daughter,
yeah.
He should be doing those. Taken 4, I want to see him taking over franchises, taking them in new directions. Same way Michael B. Jordan did for Rocky. I want to see that. That's my thing.
How fucking cool is it that Rocky did that before?
Honestly, Michael B. Jordan as Neo, new Matrix series would be kind of
cool.
tough too.
I just give the Rocky franchise and Sly Stallone a lot of credit for, just rolling with Creed, like putting that out. What a great fucking way to take it to the next generation. It's so smart.
I tweeted about it because I basically was saying that. I was like, anytime there's like a black guy in Star Wars, or there's a black superhero, or there's a black Disney person.
Yeah, you've just plopped him
everyone's
in.
mad. But Rocky fans, we never get credit. What are we probably called? Bros and fucking meatheads.
Yeah.
Yet they were like, hey, we're gonna make Rocky black, and we're like, sounds awesome.
Do it. We don't care.
Let's
do it. We want another Rocky.
Can we watch him?
True.
Well, everyone else, all the other fucking nerds are like, it's not actually canon to have a black Jedi.
Yeah.
Because
that's not how the author described him.
Yeah, so if you like look at the history of the planet in the series, you can actually go back to the book to kind of learn some of this. It's like, shut up, you racist nerd. God. I don't know what's worse, that you're a virgin or you're racist. But they're both bad.
Definitely racist.
Both are bad. Maybe they're interconnected.
Michael Jai White could be in Showgirls also.
He could get it? I thought you were going to say he could get it.
I feel like all the male actors we've mentioned today could get it.
Could get
also
it.
Tessa Thompson.
Michael Jai White would have been a beast, by the way, because he's like a big dude.
I don't know. DMX was a pretty good.
Oh,
You have a lot of books, Beast.
DMX, and I'm a beast.
They all say just DMX. They're all by DMX. What's going on?
I'm DMX. What's my name? Ho, ho. That was
The
more
rest
like
of
a
these
puppy.
pages are
That wasn't
blank.
really scary. I'm DMX. All right, we gotta go. All right, I have been Justin Golak. You can find me at justingolak.com. I got some upcoming shows coming out of town and stuff, and local stuff in Chicago. So come check me out live. I will do comedy. You will watch it. We'll have fun. Instagram, check out Gear Talk there. And as always, especially since we're taking a little hiatus, stay in touch. At Justin Golak on Twitter, but also Justin at Justin Golak on the email. Justin at Justin Golak. Email. Say hello. Keep in touch. Start a correspondence. And most importantly, send me those dick pics. And then we got Jackie Manty, JackieManty.com. Check the FemComPod roundup there on Mondays. So we got 2 more of those coming. And she's got a bunch of stuff up. I mean, it's a good hub for all Jackie Manty. Art, writing, all of it. At Jackie_Manty on Twitter. At Jackie Manty, no underscore on the gram, right? Jackie's always posting cool photos. And then Jackie at JackieManty.com. Keep in correspondence with her. And, of course, send her them tit pics. Anything else you want to mention?
No.
All right, cool.
Good.
And then, like I said, if you want those bonus episodes every once in a while, there. Different format, but still a lot of fun. That's patreon.com/LOClass, no dash. And like always, for everything else, that's lowclass.com, LO-class. Don't forget the dash on that one. .com.
.com.
All right, that has been our show. Thank you for listening. Bye.
Bye.